Well, thank you very much for that lovely introduction and for the invitation to be here. We've got a world of topics to discuss, literally. And so let's get right to the presentation. Okay, this presentation is entitled Our Plant Positive Future with No Time Left to Lose. Both those topics are going to be recurring themes in this presentation. As you may be aware, I have been spending the majority of my waking hours going around to the medical schools of North America, but also Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and talking to the medical students, giving them the most important message I think they need to hear, namely, the majority of diseases that they are seeing, that's spending most of their professional time on: obesity, high blood pressure, clogged arteries, inflammatory diseases of lung, gut, skin, etc. Turns out that most doctors are focused on managing these diseases, managing chronic illness. But actually, the truth is these are reversible diseases. If we get these people on a diet based on whole plant foods, and healthy up their lifestyle, get enough sleep, exercise, etc. Now, these diseases go away, they reverse. I wish someone had told me that when I was a medical student. I wish I had known it would have changed the entire course of my medical career. So I'm imparting this message to medical students wherever I find them, both in person and now electronically on Zoom. And the message is, listen, a whole food plant-based diet is square one. You want to reverse these diseases, you have to do other things, but basically run this fuel mixture through your patient's bodies for the next 90 days and see if you don't feel better. Almost certainly you absolutely will. And as we do so, the changes are just remarkable. Obesity begins to melt away, arteries relax, high blood pressures come down, sore joints stop hurting, asthmatic lungs stop wheezing so much, migraine headaches get better, the psoriatic skin clears up, the colitis and Crohn's symptoms start to subside. The people turn into normal, healthy people right before our eyes. It's the most exciting transformation in medicine. And here's Dr. Furman's patient, Emily. I know her well, and she used to look like the Emily on the left. She was grossly diabetic, on 30 units of insulin, on 2 medications for blood pressure. She went on a whole food plant-based diet. 11 months later, she lost almost 100 pounds. She also lost her diabetes and high blood pressure. She now has normal blood values, blood sugars, blood pressures. And I tell the young students, what greater gift could you want to help your patients achieve? Isn't this why we went into medicine? You know, if you want to, do you want to heal these patients or don't you? If you do, then let's get real about why they are sitting in front of us, doctor, overweight, hypertensive, clogged up, inflamed, largely from the standard American diet, the meat, the dairy, the oils, the sugars that they're running through their tissues every 4 hours. Well, when we stop doing that and get a truly healthy diet, a plant-based diet flowing through their tissues, the changes are just spectacular. It's the highest level healing, the most powerful therapeutic tool I can imagine. And this is the message that I've been bringing to the medical students. However, even though I'm talking about arteries and blood pressures and inflammatory reactions, the back of my head, in the depths of my heart, I have another patient in mind. Actually, it's my biggest patient of all, and that is planet Earth. I am a passionate environmentalist, and I have been very concerned to the point of grieving for what is happening to planet Earth. And I want to share that with you during this presentation. Now, when I was a boy in the 1950s, I spent most of my summers on my uncle's dairy farm in northern Wisconsin. And it was a wonderland. I would milk the cows and drive tractors, sling hay bales, etc. But as every chance I could, I would slip off into the forest. And in those cathedrals of trees, I felt at home. There was such truth there. There was such beauty there. There was such stillness that it made me very aware of being a natural man on this planet, a a being of nature like the animals that I saw. And my world was full of animals then, hawks and salamanders and deer and foxes and frogs and mink. And of course, the domestic animals on the farm, the cows, the dogs, the cats. And how I love the water. Every chance I get, I would slip into our canoe and glide across the many lakes in the area. I let the natural world just flow through me. It imbued every fiber of my being. I realized this is my true home, that we are creatures of this earth. And I would spend many hours alone walking through the forest, and the trees would share with me their stately message of rightness, of it is so proper that they are just where they are, manifesting fully as they are. And that's their message to me as a man. They were saying, be fully who you are, wherever you are, be fully there and manifest your truth as fully as possible. And so I developed this deep love for the earth and seeing its naturalness in the flow of energy. Water always flows downhill. The clouds move across the skies and bring their life-giving rains. There's just such rightness to the natural world. How could one not love it? And then in my late 20s, I became a pilot. I fly airplanes. I love being up in the air. I would fly every day if I could. I just love being in that left-hand seat. Aviation is so pure and so truthful and so soul expanding, and it expands our vision and understanding of the natural world. But that said, it didn't take me many hours in the air to look down and see something that made my heart ache. From 8,000 feet in the left-hand seat, you can see what we are doing to this planet. And I was in Northern California, and I looked down, and I saw we were scalping the forests off the mountainsides. And with no tree roots to hold the soils would cascade down into the river bottoms, and I would see the rivers running brown with topsoil after we've cleaved off the forest cover. I saw the rivers running dry as the waters were siphoned off for irrigating alfalfa and cattle water installations. And as toxins are building up in our ecosystems, I would see again and again evidence of entire ecosystems sickening and dying. And then how can anyone aware of the plight of the earth not understand that we are cleaving off the rainforest in South America, the very lungs of the earth. And as a result, the deserts of the planet are encroaching all over. And I look at my beloved planet Earth through the eyes of a physician. And I say, you know, if this was a medical patient, she is in trouble. She's running a fever. The temperature is going up. Her arteries are clogged up. The rivers that circulate around are clogged and polluted. The digestive powers of her soils are being diminished as we poison them with herbicides and pesticides, killing off any life that may compete with the crops that we're grazing. And the lungs of the earth, as I mentioned, the forests, we are cleaving them off in order to make grazing land and cropland for beef. As a result, the carbon dioxide levels are going up, just like a patient in respiratory failure. This patient with a fever and clogged arteries and failing lungs should be in the intensive care unit. She is certainly worthy of intensive care. And that's what I want to talk to you about, because all of us are responsible for her intensive care. A lot of people are expressing alarm. Here's J. Morris Hicks, Jim Hicks. I urge you to subscribe to his Healthy Eating, Healthy World newsletter. He's got so many brilliant insights and ideas for action. And though we've been focusing on human health throughout this magnificent conference, let me just underline a basic truth. It doesn't matter what your cholesterol level is. If we don't have a viable planet to live on, And that trumps everything. It's got to take precedence in all our future planning, starting with what you're having for dinner tonight. The rate of global warming is increasing, and as a result, the ice caps are melting. We'll be talking about that. But you can see it from space. You can see is what the ice caps looked like in 1979. Here they were 30 years later. Clearly, as the Earth is getting warmer, the ice caps are melting, and these poor bears on these melting icebergs are there because of us.